So welcome to another 10-minute review this week. Today we have Adam's animation. Thank you, Adam, for submitting your animation into the Discord server. I am going to have a look at it, give you some tips and tricks. Now, if you guys would like to actually get your animations reviewed just like Adam's, make sure to join the Discord server. Make sure to actually kind of submit your animations for feedback. I have a feedback channel, and I'll make sure to actually go through the animations. And then if anything jumps at me that has a lot of potential that I really like, I'll make sure to review it here on a weekly basis, just 10 minutes on the clock, but hopefully it will give you a lot of information in those 10 minutes that hopefully will get you guys pumped and ready to continue that animation, right? So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so here I have my trusty Wacom finally installed. I can finally draw on the screen. As you can see here, it's beautiful, love it, awesome stuff. Now I'm gonna put 10 minutes on the clock and get started, okay? Nice one. This time I have the timer, I don't have to look at the time. Now, Adam, I think you did a really good job here. Harvey Newman, the editor here, talking to you guys. Sorry for the intermission, but as I was editing this video, I realized that this is not actually Adam's animation. This is another animator's animation. Every time you hear me saying Adam, think about this other animator. So I'm going to actually give him some shine here to make sure that he gets the deserved props. But for the animator that has made the animation is actually this animator here. His nickname is HXX. So HXX, get in touch if you see the video. Let's get back to the video. See you. I think your animation has a really nice flow to it overall. There's a few things that I can tell that you're already thinking about. I think your sense of timing works well. I also think that your arcs are working well. You're thinking about your arcs. And most importantly is the thing that I can see here the most is that you're thinking about what the characters are thinking while they are doing it, right? And this is one of the biggest things that I can actually attest to when I see show reels. All of the stuff that I mentioned before, definitely missing from a lot of show reels. But one of the biggest things that I see missing in show reels when I see them is that people think about the animation in a mechanical way. It makes complete sense because we as animators, we have a tendency to obviously go frame to frame, so we are looking at the details all the time. But sometimes you lose track of the big picture, right? Because after all, this is the main command area, and is this the brain that actually tells the body what to do and is with intention normally, right? So you have to actually make sure that whatever the characters are doing feels like the characters are thinking before they are doing it, right? So you're doing a little bit of that here, which is really awesome. So kudos to you on that. Now, for the things that you're not doing so great, I think that's why we're here, to actually kind of check that out. So the very first thing that I can tell you about your animation that I think is missing is setting up a scene correctly. Now, talking about show reels, once again, you have to think about your audience and what they are seeing and give them time to actually catch up with you or see what you are doing while you are doing it. So in your case, I think what's missing right now is the fact that you don't have a setup, right? You don't have like a beginning. You have an ending, but you don't have a beginning. Because me as an audience, looking at it from just being an audience, not actually paying attention to the animation parts of it, I'm actually thinking as I see the animation, why is Link doing this to Zelda? And why does he actually shoot off, right? So you can answer those questions by just basically having a setup to your scene that allows the audience to understand what's going on. So it can be Link coming into the scene, saying something, then saying goodbye and leaving. Could be that they already talking, right? And then he goes, all right, see you later, and goes off, right? Anything on that kind of like area, generic area of like making sure that you set up things before he goes like this and then leaves allows the audience to understand why he's doing this and leaving, and it gives the audience less of a chance to ask questions about what has happened, what's going on, I don't understand it. So I'll leave it up to you to decide what that beginning is going to be, but you already have the middle of the story, which is this thing, and you have the ending when they just run off. So you just have to start the scene with something meaningful, right? So that's the biggest thing that you have to do in your scene, and something that you need to sort out. The second thing is Zelda. So in your Zelda animation, and I didn't see this until later, until I saw it a few times, there's a double take that she does before Link leaves. And this double take is very important, but I think at the moment is misplaced. You shouldn't be here, it should be towards the end. Because what happens is, at the moment, both characters are fighting for the attention of the audience, right? And the audience is already with Link at this point. The audience is already here. So they're already looking at him, doing his stuff. So by the time he actually kind of like goes off and anticipates to go off, right? They completely missed what Zelda has done here, right? Because Link is already off. So if you actually, it also kind of gives you food for thought, because you don't understand at this point why Zelda is doing a double take. What has she seen or thought of that made her go, what's going on, right? So if you actually add this double take when Link leaves, it kind of gives it a much better place to be, because at that point Link already left. So it means that she at that point is maybe thinking, I didn't even see him go. Oh my God, he just left, and then she goes, right? So this is basically what you need to actually put it in. I think somewhere around here when he leaves, then at that point there's a double take, and then she starts running. I think that's a much better place to actually put it, which is really awesome. Now, there is actually something that you mentioned. Let me just looking at my notes. So I'm just looking at my notes. Yeah, so there's actually something that you mentioned about your arms and going out of your scene, and it doesn't feel quite nice, doesn't feel quite fluid. And I agree with you. I think there's a few things missing. Normally, when it comes to leaving a scene, it's normally to do with either not having enough frames for the audience to kind of like keep up with the leaving of the scene, or perhaps, you know, having limbs falling through or something falling through to make sure that the audience is kind of seeing that, okay, so he definitely left this way, so now I know that he's gone. And I think you have a bit of both. So if you actually go into here as he's leaving, right, I think you have like, so this frame is fine, this frame is fine, but it's basically this frame right here, right? Frame 1, 2, and 3. Those 3 frames are the ones that are missing information, because what happens is that you have too much of a separation between your keys at this point, right? It feels like the distance covered is way too big for the leaving. So you're leaving too soon, basically. So you need to make sure that those keys are slightly closer together. Because like the distance between, like if you look at his butt, the difference between that and that is huge, right? And then it's even bigger when he goes off the screen. Like it should be something where he's here, and then there's another key around there, then there's another key around there, and then around here, he should be around there, and then here, maybe you can still see a little bit of the ending of his body, right? So this is basically what you're looking for. So make sure that you see that exit, and it gives the audience a chance to keep up with the action instead of just something has happened and disappeared in a second. So that's the first thing that you're missing. And then the second thing is all about the body and what's going on. We as an audience, myself, I am looking at his face all the time, more specifically at the eyes, while he's doing the action. However, because we have peripheral vision, we are looking at what's going on around the body, right? In this case, because you have such a strong pose right here of the hand, the audience is most definitely, because this is in the center of the screen, right, looking at that hand, right? It's very prominent, it's right in the middle of the screen, and it's in between the 2 characters. So you can have a chance to basically get that hand to look better and flow better and get a better arc, right? So first of all, you kind of need to break it down. So basically this hand is slightly off here, right there, so it kind of follows through a little bit better. But then most importantly, and most likely at this point you know what I'm saying, is that you need to basically get that hand to follow through all the way there. So it's almost like the body is already going that way, but the hand is still keeping up this way, and that way gives you a chance to kind of like keep up with the action a little bit better. So the hand at this point will be something like this, right? And then at this point, something like that. and then basically it will start kind of like bending, and then at this point it will be off the screen. So as you do that, you'll see that follow through once again gives the audience a chance to kind of see the action going and just doesn't feel distracting. There's no pops, there's no big distances between poses. It just feels good, flows well, and satisfying, right? Now, two last things, small things, but definitely very important. The shield, very heavy, right? Especially in contrast with its weight, right? And in the game of Zelda, you don't really feel that shield so much, sometimes, but not so much. But since this is a bespoke animation, you need to add extra detail to animation, right? It's not a game, it's a bespoke animation. So make sure that as he's moving around, right? For example, here, like he's actually displacing backwards and then going forwards. Make sure that this shield is moving up and down as you are moving forwards and backwards. So it feels very much like he's repositioning backwards and then going forwards. And this motion, as he's doing it, will give you a sense of like heaviness, right? So at the moment it feels very linear as he goes through. Make sure that whenever he moves backwards and forwards, he has that sense of weight, right? Remember that the sense of weight of the shield will actually move the body as well. Last but not least, this thing that you have in her hair looks really cool. I ran out of time. Oh no. Okay, I'll go on and tell you this. This thing that you're doing right now on the hair looks really cool. I think you should do it when Link moves off the screen, because he moves so fast, and then she's gonna do a double take of what happened before she does the double take, and while she's still, will be awesome that as soon as Link leaves, the hair goes poof, and then she goes ha, and then leaves, right? Small detail, just a suggestion, but I think you will add a lot to animations. And that's it. That's all I had to actually tell you. Obviously, I would love to tell you much, much more, but it's only 10 minutes. But I think the animation is looking really cool. So Adam, keep it up. Awesome work. Good times. I hope this helps. And for everybody that actually wants to get their animations reviewed, as I mentioned, join my Discord, follow the instructions, and I hope to see more of your animations. Now, this is only like a little piece of what I do. I normally do animation workshops that are much, much longer. And this week, actually, I released a new website and I have a 20% discount for everybody that wants to join me on my workshop. I have either an hour workshop, a week, or a month. And basically is this with you, but asking you questions, interacting with you, making sure that I cater my feedback to your specific needs. So if this sounds like something you would like to do, then feel free to join my workshop. For the next 2 weeks, it's 20% off. Take advantage, and I hope to work with you soon. That's all I had. Until next week, stay well, stay safe. Peace.